Michael Jordan is the unanimous MVP.
I know you got him picked, but the man's in trouble. I'm going to show you how great I am.
What is it that makes the greats unstoppable? I am sure this is a question that we ask ourselves when we see the greatest athletes in any sport that we're watching dominate a game flawlessly. The question is also prevalent to any of us that seek to achieve and pursue excellence in sports as well. We may pick up on how they're freaks of nature by witnessing their out-of-the-world speed, quickness, strength, and jumping ability. Or we see their creativity and how they apply their exceptional skill within their sport. All that we pick up on can leave us awestruck with the greatness and God-given talents, or it could make us feel dejected and discouraged. We may just tell ourselves, I am not born a freak of nature with exceptional skill. There is just no way I can relate to them at all. Though it is true that we may not be able to relate to any of the greats that are freak athletes, there is another question we can ask. Are there greats that I can relate to? And yes, there are greats we can relate to. Ones that hit walls and couldn't just rely on their natural talents and raw physical gifts. The ones that had to go through a grind and constantly hone their skills. The ones that had to become unstoppable through a process. There are several names that come to mind, but the one that stands out the most with his grind and process is none other than Kobe Bryant, who went from an 11-year-old kid who could not get a single basket at his local children's rec league in his hometown, to becoming the #1 ranked basketball player in the nation in high school, to finally the Black Mamba and 5-time NBA champion that we all remember him as. And in this video, we will be taking a look at Kobe Bryant and what exactly makes him unstoppable, by taking a deeper look at his philosophy and how it helped him dominate in the game of basketball. And without further ado, let's get into this. Kobe Bryant's offensive scoring is poetry in motion. We see a variety of different shots and moves, all executed with a defender giving it his all to stop him. Sometimes even with two defenders. And it seems like Kobe just naturally finds a way to get the type of shot he wants, and there's nothing any defender can do to stop him. They can't predict him or know what he's going to do next. And it just seems like Kobe is in complete control and steps ahead of any player that tries to guard him. However, that's our perspective. We see something complex, a lot of different shots and moves from Kobe. But that is not what Kobe sees himself. In an interview with a group of basketball players in a Nike Rise event in Shanghai in 2014, Kobe broke down his whole offensive game by saying that he only has two moves. He also claimed that in order to be unstoppable, you must first be predictable, which is counterintuitive to what a lot of us think. Initially, I just thought that Kobe's claim didn't make any sense at all. But out of curiosity, I wanted to understand what he really means. So I decided to really study his moves to understand what he means. And through hours of film study and research, I developed some insight on what he means about being unstoppable with only two moves and being predictable to be unstoppable. Let's talk about Kobe's two moves, which are the pull-up and the turnaround fadeaway. Let's begin with the pull-ups, which are used around the perimeter. The footwork for going into the pull-ups usually involve a 1-2 step or a hop. The second move is the fadeaway. Kobe uses this move around the post, and the footwork involves drop stepping and then pivoting either left or right. These simple and basic moves are moves that we see Kobe use in every single game he played. He also falls back on these two moves in situations such as needing to hit a game winner or having to score a bucket to help his team gain some momentum. But there's still something else to this. And although we do see Kobe use the basics, we also see Kobe shoot and make tough shots like this, and this. Shots that the average basketball player would not attempt. These tough shots do seem advanced, but they are really just the same two moves, with the addition of nuances such as pump fakes and pivots. Which brings us to the next point, where we go a little in depth with how Kobe uses the nuances by understanding what he means about being predictable to be unstoppable. Being predictable to be unstoppable. How does this make any sense? Contrary to popular basketball beliefs, if the defense knows what you're going to do, you are easier to stop. This is only true to a degree, as there is another side of the coin that Kobe sees, and it involves understanding himself and the nature and behavior of his defenders. Kobe understood that using many different moves does make him unpredictable to the defender, but also to himself as well. He won't have much control over his own game or the defender. But using the same basic moves over and over again creates predictability for himself and the defender, since he knows exactly what he is going to do and how his defender is going to react. In other words, Kobe sees that his moves are not only as a means to score, but also as a means to understand and control the nature and behavior of his defender. And being able to understand and control nature and behavior allows him to be steps ahead. Throughout all his games, he would use the same moves several times to dictate to the defender what he intends to do, and then use a pump fake or a pivot to throw his defender off. It is seemingly easy when we watch Kobe do it, but in reality, it is difficult. Breaking the pattern of a move that was practiced thousands of times not only goes against the defender's nature, but can go against our own nature as well, since it can feel awkward and unnatural. But still, how does Kobe make it look so natural and easy? Is it just simply tons of practice? Just find a hoop and do many reps every day? Not exactly. Practice and reps just barely scratch the surface. The real answer involves a specific process. And this process is Kobe's process with perfecting and mastering moves. Kobe is well known to be a hard worker. There are many stories about his insane work ethic, of how he gets up at 4 a.m. and puts up thousands of shots and goes to the gym 4 to 5 times a day, all with the intentions of working until he blacks out. When we scratch the surface a little bit more, Kobe isn't just a hard worker, but a smart one as well. He has a specific process he goes through for perfecting and mastering moves. Essentially, it is a simple process that is meant to train him for all the possible ways a defender will contest, pressure, and react. The process is a constant cycle of applying, adapting, and optimizing. To give you an idea of this process, let's go more in detail on each of the points. The first step, the applying, or going through the motions, just involves getting the motion of the moves, pattern breaks, and counters down. This is where you obtain the muscle memory for the moves, and also drill yourself to adapt to executing the moves through the pattern breaks. Essentially, you only know how to do the move at this step. The second step, or the adapting step, involves getting a feel of using the move against a live defender, to in-game with less spacing and against multiple defenders. This is a step where you get a feel of applying the move with variables such as spacing, timing, and the nature and energy of the defenders. The third step is optimization, which is mainly just analysis. Using this involves film study, along with a lot of attention to detail, to ways you could tweak your execution when it comes to motion or feel for the game. This is where you have to be objective and critical, and constantly ask yourself questions of how you can do or make something better. And with the information you acquire from this step, you start back at step 1 and run through the whole process again. It's essentially a 3-step rinse and repeat process. But let me digress for a moment and just tell you that this simple process that Kobe used throughout his 20-year career in the NBA is also the exact process that contributed to his success after basketball. So in other words, this process behind being unstoppable goes beyond just basketball. It correlates to life as well. Although Kobe is mainly presented as the Black Mamba and Laker with 5 rings, he is also viewed as an inspiration and mentor to the whole world. Whether you're a hooper or not, there is always something you can learn from Kobe through watching his games or listening to his interviews. Kobe did show us that he is unstoppable in basketball, but he also showed us that he is unstoppable in life as well by winning an Oscar as a producer, running and endorsing numerous businesses, coaching a girls' AAU team to a championship. On top of all that, he was also a great father who gave his heart to his family as well. And for anybody that watched this video up to this point, if you strive to be great in basketball, another sport, or in life, just remember that the great Kobe Bryant, who is a human being just like me and you, became great in basketball and in life by striving to master only a few skills at a time. Anyways, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed this video and found it entertaining or helpful, please don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment for the algorithm. And to stay tuned for more content from me in the future, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload. This has been your boy DHZ. Thanks for watching and peace.